Yo, what's up? CypherTalk. We got the round table or a square table or whatever one kind of table you want to call it. We're here in Nereo's place. So, Nereo, thanks for hosting us with this awesome get together. And we're here with the Blueprint for Life group. We got, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Buddha, if you want to go first.
I'm the old man in the group, Buddha. B-Boy, Canadian Floor Masters founder. I think this year's our 33rd anniversary. Been dancing since I was 15. Wear it like a badge of honor. Never had a dance lesson in my life. Anyways, I founded Blueprint for Life, and this is my amazing team we got here.
That's awesome. And what kind of work are you guys doing here in Winnipeg right now?
You know what? We started working in communities, remote communities in the Arctic. And about maybe 6 years ago, we started doing some prison work, youth prison work out west. Kind of word went up the ladder with like the Attorney General and stuff. And we got a big grant from Gangs and Guns to do work in the Winnipeg Correction Center. So we got a whole team working with a lot of kids in lockup, more kids than they've ever allowed in the gym at any one time. 20 warring gangs, wow. No gang signs going up.
Whoa, that's powerful stuff. It's funny how we started the podcast and everybody just went silent.
Yeah, I know.
You guys are so loud. Like
got us
right
about 10
before
seconds.
this. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Internal reflection.
Yeah. So we also have Lunacee here. You want to introduce yourself? Introduce yourself.
Hello. Lunacee from Edmonton, Alberta. And right here is...
What up? This is Frost, Ground Illusions crew, 20th Century B-Boys, story time, setting Blueprint for Life.
Just go around the circle here.
Charlie Fettah, a.k.a. Hurt My Knee.
AKA Bust My Hip.
A.k.a. Bust My Hip, Pop My Hip. A.k.a. the King of Manitoba. Best on the mic.
That's a lie.
Oh, man. They told me not to talk that, so I'm gonna refrain. You know, be kind, kill them with kindness. KOM, happy to be a part of the Blueprint team, first project. Definitely an eye-opening experience, but super blessed to be sitting right here.
Yo.
Tell them about your windmills, baby.
Yo, they're still coming, you know what I mean? I'm working on those.
Holy sexy voice on.
Yo, I
I
took some pointers from Bob and Frost earlier today in the week, you know what I mean? Working on that cool evening deep bass. Anyhow, yo. Yo. It's rumbling, yo. Oh, man, yo, it's B-Bad, yo. B-Boy Handles, MEC, Unity, Toronto, Edmonton, Hybrid. Yeah.
Nereo Tool, a.k.a. Doc Strange, a.k.a. Papa Fox from the Sleeping Giants family, Hidden Gems Collective, and it's my 3rd year with Blueprint Family doing a project at NYC. And I'm happy that my family has returned, and I'm happy to host with my lovely wife here in my home. And yeah, man, it's all
Shout
up
out
here.
to Niki.
Shout out to Niki for the support this week.
Fox.
Behind the scenes, you gotta shout out the respect to the queen behind the scenes.
And for those of you that weren't here, I gave Niki her Blueprint for Life t-shirt. She's officially one of us now.
Hey. What's up? It's B-Boy Boobjester. Represent Dangerous Goods, Good for Crew, Mischief. We in Winnipeg, Manitoba right now and enjoying ourselves. Happy to have the Blueprint fam here. Yeah.
I thought you were karaoke Bob.
Ken!
Yo, what up? It's Renee, baby of the Blueprint crew.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Wait. And I am the honorary member of the team of superheroes sitting in my living room right now. You guys are so beautiful. And every year that you come in, it's a highlight for me to have you guys here. You're genuinely a team of superheroes. And what you're doing is the most meaningful work that I've come across on my path. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sup? It's Daddy GoodFunk from the GoodFunk gang. I'm just chilling.
Everybody knows me. I'm Joe Boy Rock, aka Angelo. And yeah.
Hi, it's Mandy, aka Cora or M-Bugs. Yeah.
Hey, this is Kalliane, aka Yofidelic, representing On the One Collective and Female Energy. And thank you for letting me be here and witness you guys and all this amazing energy. And you guys are beautiful. Thank you. Yes.
Hello, I'm Lauren, aka Gma Feelgood, and I'm just hanging amongst all these amazing people.
Yes.
Awesome. Yes, we completed it. That's cool. So I really want to just mention the big elephant in the room because I think I don't know, it's pretty like apparent that Buddha's like an OG in Canada. And do you want to talk about
That's how I roll.
I'd like to address you.
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
yeah, no, it's all good.
Turn it around.
I like that.
For all those people who are not familiar with you and like your story, could you give a little bit of a brief background on how you got started and all that kind of stuff?
In Blueprint or got started as a b-boy?
Just b-boy and dancing and all that kind of thing.
These guys are everybody's looking at their watch. Okay. Well, see the short form is I was severely bullied when I was a young cat, about 15. We used to skate to all that 70s funk. We call it rocking the red wheels. So my story is kind of a pre-hip hop story. And when I started skating, that was the way I reclaimed who I was as a person because of all the bad shit that was going on and happened to me, right? So that was important because I was doing a lot of drugs. I was doing a lot of break and enters. I was kind of down a bit of a destructive path. And that was my way of showing people and kind of put my fist in the air that I was a good little person, man. So I used to be that kid who could do like spin on one foot, full speed, 2 backhand, round off backhand spring into the splits, jump up, spin, locker jump, and look at everybody else go, what the fuck you got? So that's my early 70s story. And so I grew up near Windsor, Detroit, so I grew up going to concerts, so all that early funk, right? George Clinton and all that early R&B and stuff is kind of really entrenched in my brain. So then when I first saw b-boying, and I saw like the documentary Style Wars, Wild Style, and when I saw that backspin in Flashdance, then I needed the backspin. Like all them other OG b-boys that you're going to interview around the world, when we saw the backspin, it was over. Something in our mind said, give me that backspin. I need that. Mm-hmm. So then I formed a crew, wanted to be the best crew in Canada. We were called the Canadian Floor Masters. Some of my guys had some pretty tough life background that they came from. They kind of looked at me like their big brother because I was the oldest in the crew. And I pushed them. When I talk to other old school crews, I think the difference is I was older. So I pushed us to do a level of professionalism so that we could get paid more money. And I would always even withhold some money so that the crew could get like our new one-piece tights made and stuff. So we looked ill out there, right? So we were the crew that was opening for James Brown and George Clinton and Grandmaster Flash and Ice-T. Got to dance on stage for all these people. So we had a lot of adventures together. And I just feel blessed. We connected with the New York City Breakers. We were officially passed our name from them. They used to be called, we actually bit their name without permission, actually, truth be known. We stole their name. One of my crew was from Brooklyn. He said, look, there's a crew in New York called the New York City Breakers. They're really dope, but they used to be called the Floor Masters. Why don't we call ourselves the Canadian Floor Masters? So we stole the name. Then they came to our hometown. So we met them, and they thought we were so dope at dancing. They actually took a video of us back to New York, and they went to Chino's house, and Powerful Pexter, Mr. Wave, all these legends watched a video on our crew. and they said, man, you guys are dope. We'd be honored if you would be our sister crew. So then we, in reverse, we got the blessing to be called the Canadian Floor Masters. There's also a Japanese Floor Masters from back in the day. So even to this day, I'm connected with Powerful Pexter and Little Lep and some of these guys, right? So that's kind of cool because they are big legends. You know what I mean? They were the ones in the movie Beat Street, battling Rocksteady and whatnot. And then, you know, simultaneously, I was living as a punk rock guy, right? I had a big mohawk. I lived in England. I moved to England. I used to hang out with all the b-boy scene from Brixton. I helped put on England's biggest hip-hop event where we took the power away from the record companies. So that was a big deal. I'm reconnecting with a lot of my old UK cats from 85. And so I look like a punk, but I danced because I was a b-boy. And I go to jams, I'd be the only white kid. And I never felt so safe, right? And I think that's pretty much it. I became a social worker. I did a master's in that. And then this kind of, over the years, has spawned Blueprint for Life. You know, like, even as when I was a social worker, I used to disappear from social work. I'd say, can I have a week off? Because I'm going to train Cirque du Soleil to do something, right? Mm-hmm. So I've had some good gigs, consulting with Cirque du Soleil, training them. And about 11 years ago, I made Blueprint for Life. And now we're at the point where we're doing lots of prison work. We've been to almost every Arctic community. We work in First Nations community. And we're just, before you arrive, we're like plotting to take over the world with hip hop. So that's how we do, baby. With these superheroes with me now.
Encouragement. That's sick. That's sick. As far as, I don't even have a question right now. I'm just kind of like, whoa, Buddha's right there. Just look around and like, oh, that Frost is right over there. Like, oh, damn, Bob's over there. He's actually here. Okay, it's crazy. But yeah, what was the scene kind of like back then, and how do you compare it to like how it is now? Like, what do you think was good back then that should maybe be brought back, or like, you know, how do you kind of compare?
One, we knew how to dance with ladies. I'm just saying. Apparently, they would like to bring that one back.
Yeah, of course. We need it back, okay? We need it back.
No, you know what? We had more of a club vibe. Like, there was a club in Ottawa which was like the Floor Masters Club. And we never paid to get in the clubs, never waited in line. That was our club. And one minute we would be slam dancing, getting down to the Sex Pistols, and next minute we'd be ciphering and b-boying on the floor. So like the early days, the two countercultures lived side by each. You know, like we were just happy, almost this crazy alliance between the punks and the early hip hop heads to kind of go, fuck the man. Like, we're here and we're not part of the other part of the world. So it was kind of more political and it was raw. And we didn't really fully know what it was. You know, we're discovering it. So we see something on graffiti and we're like, yo, we're B-boys, but we got to do graph too. And we also got to learn about turntablism. And we also got to, because we felt this commitment that even if you weren't good at it, that didn't matter. The fact was that you represented by trying. That was a true B-boy because you had a heart for supporting the birth of this whole new culture. So that's a little bit different. Now everybody's so worried with the ego that, you know, I ain't going to show my shit until I'm the best, or then I'm going to video myself to being the best, as opposed to like just hanging and vibing and dancing and partying. And like, I got so many parking lot stories and stuff because we were poor, couldn't afford to buy drinks at clubs. So you drink in the parking lot, then you're drinking in the parking lot. Now you're battling in the parking lot, you know, like all this stuff going down. It felt raw, and there was always a party. And we never had them jams where it was like prize money in brightly lit gymnasiums. Like, that stuff that happens now didn't exist. And we also had the other dance forms showcased all the time. So like every crew had a boogie boy, right? And we would, even though we weren't good at it, we would try locking. You know, now there's separate jams. There's a locking jam, there's a boogie jam, there's a whatever. So I don't know. And I also feel like we supported each other's elements more. So if I got a gig at the National Arts Center and we were opening for La 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 Human Steps, which used to be considered the world's most famous modern dance company, we would bring along the DJs and the MCs, and I would say, no, we're not doing the gig unless they can also be part of the gig. You know what I'm saying? Like we felt this honor amongst ourselves that we had to support each other and pull each other along. And that don't happen now anymore. You know, graph artists get a gig, they haul along and often bring in the B-boys or vice versa. Or certainly not the music industry, you know? So that was different. I gave you a lot of differences there.
Yeah. I guess it's a good time to ask you the question. What's your definition of hip hop, like how you see it? I also want to get some of the thoughts of like Bob and Frost and anybody else.
Yeah, because you got some young cats in this room. You should get their thing.
Yeah, for sure. I want to get their opinions as well. So what do you think about hip hop and maybe how the word is used, or like what?
Well, we lost control of the word, right? A long time ago. I mean, you know, and honestly, it hurts my heart a little bit, but we're not going to get that back. We actually reclaimed B-boy. There was a fight to bring that word back into our vernacular, you know what I mean? But that was good. Do you like that word? Rock. You see me rock that, baby? Vernacular.
I can't see. Let me use my.
Damn. Where's my binoculars at? You know what? But now, you know, like video changed things, right? Music videos changed things because now a video was choreography, and they want to see a bunch of people doing something. Always make fun and say, do the Janet Jackson like this kind of, you know, in front. And it's not that I'm down on choreography, but what pisses me off is it often doesn't pay homage or respect to the original foundation dances and at least give credit to where it comes from. So the dance class that's filling up in every studio that's paying the bills in North America is the hip hop class, which can be taught by the Pilates teacher who knows fuck all about our history, right? So that's a little messed up, and they even appropriate the images of us. So it's like I see a van in Ottawa drive by and it says "Driven Dance Company," and I'm like, who the fuck's Driven Dance Company? I never heard of them because they got a picture of a b-boy on the side of the van. And it's like, oh, so you a hip-hop choreography company, but you got to use a b-boy image to get that swag. That's cultural appropriation. Because to me, I didn't get my swag by putting my silhouette up somewhere. I got my swag by battling in a club, right? So it's a little bit different like that. So we lost control of that word. But heads in the know that there's 4 elements that everybody obviously talks about. Right. You know, we had beatbox, we got 5. We had knowledge of self, we got 6. We had fashion, we got, you know, there's lots of elements to hip hop. This is why hip hop's still around, because it's flexible, because it's organic. It can change culturally in every country around the world. That's the beautiful gift of it. And here's my theory. You want to hear my theory about why it still exists?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you about this.
Yes.
Hip hop exists, in my opinion, because it's a visceral response to managing our own personal rage. And not for everybody, because now we do have even b-boy classes and locking classes and stuff. So we got people from, you know, universities now. But like back in the day, all the early b-boys, nobody went to university and stuff. Really, people were hood rats, right? Mm-hmm. But people had rage. We have rage in our hearts, either on the personal circumstances or at the political injustices that we see. And the world has no shorties of that shit in every country around the world today. So we need hip hop because we need a way to express ourselves and make sense of the craziness in the world so that we ourselves can even survive, you know? And I don't know, I got 40 Blueprint staff across Canada. And if you were to interview most of them would have some stories about how it saved our ass because of our own rage.
Yeah. Yeah. Bob, do you have any further thoughts? I know it's hard to follow.
Karaoke Bob.
A new cat.
It's so automatic.
Yeah, what he said, man. That's it. No, I really like hip hop is like, damn, it's like he touched on so many things that really speak to me, you know, and it's really hard to say anything else about it. Like everything he touched on, from the use of the word and the culture and how people use the culture and how a person uses the culture for themselves and in whether it's healing or whether it's for making money. I mean, like there's so many different ways to look at it. And that's why I just don't say anything. You know, like because it's hip hop is such a complex thing, and it's really.
Well, tell us what it meant for you.
I mean, for me, like
Don't fucking shy away from the mic. You got it, baby.
No, I know what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I don't know how that. You said everything I was gonna say, and I was just like, shit, I don't know. Like, yeah, like growing up in Winnipeg as a young Filipino man. Teenager, whatever, and the dance was a really, really big thing to us because it connected our cultures to the Filipino dance culture too as well. They used to teach Filipino dancing in schools. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember that. Used to be around. Yeah, exactly. So they used to have Filipino cultural classes, but there was always a big tie with the dancing with like urban dancing, choreo dancing, and breaking in the city for a really long time. It stems back all the way to like 83. I think I made a conscious decision to go in a dance direction because, you know, I grew up at Sisler, and my first crew, like there's like 22 of us, and it could have gone either way, you know, because I know a lot of them went in a really dark path, and I wasn't the best at school, and a lot of them were good at school. So I was like, where does that leave me? So I really felt that hip hop definitely creates an identity for somebody. You can really find yourself in it, and just really try and like grasp that, because even the work that we do, whether it's through Graffiti Gallery or Unity or Blueprint or any other hip hop outreach, that's one of the main things, is to really create that identity and own it for yourself. Like you can create and just be proud of who you are. And, you know, so that's what hip hop means to me. Basically, is like you can be you with it, and there's no rules to it. So I think it's a beautiful thing, and look at the people sitting around the table, man. Like I wouldn't have never ever met these people ever in my life. So I think it's a very important thing to have hip hop.
Yeah. So Frost, I'm really interested in your thought process. Because I've heard some really good things. Like I remember Surla on one episode, he was talking about like he would be at a jam, and then you'd be like in the corner meditating or something. So
it's really just tired.
He was hungover.
I was trying not to go to the washroom, you know.
So I really want to get your thoughts on like what like hip hop means to you, or breaking and what's your kind of mentality going forward with it?
Well, you know, I remember when I started, it was around 1998, the beginning of 98, but I was watching it for about a year. And around the time, like, you know, 95, 96, 97, a lot of the guys that I was looking up to were like really active in the scene. I mean, dudes from the early 90s, like Bag of Tricks and, you know, Boogie Bratz, Intricate, you know, even guys from Supernaturals and stuff. But I wasn't in the know of a lot of these cats, except for maybe the dudes who were on Much Music, like Bag of Tricks, for example. But all over the country, there was a lot of people breaking. I was part of that generation. I was watching it for a while. And I grew up with an older sister and cousins who were involved in like hip hop culture, who were going to the parties, listening to the music. And, you know, it wasn't until my best friend passed away when I was about like 14 years old in 97. That's where I needed somewhere to go. And for me, the people who were the coolest was me, were the guys who were breaking. There was usually a lot of like, you know, my homies, Filipino brothers, Japanese cats, Jamaican cats, like, you know, Mississauga, that's kind of a lot of the population. People who were like into hip hop and stuff. I was kind of like Caucasian dude, Portuguese guy getting into it. A lot of people didn't understand my history, but I wasn't really open with, you know, what happened to me. I wasn't kind of broadcasting it, but for me, I was really passionate about something, and I needed to vent myself. So it came from a place of hurt, and I needed to kind of reclaim and find who I was as a person, right? So when I had started the Ground Illusions crew in 1999, our goals were really to battle another crew that was in our city. So we had like small time goals. We never had any idea that we would be, you know, traveling across the country or going to parts of the world and stuff. We had ambitions to go to Japan and things, but it's just, you know, you just do it because it's fun too. You know what I mean? You're enjoying yourself. You're with your friends. You know, going to different schools, crashing talent shows, like meeting people for the first time. It's exciting. It's a good time, right? So for me, it was always a really deep thing, something I was really passionate about. And I really focused heavy on trying to make the crew go somewhere. And I wasn't afraid. I had like a lot of bravery, even though maybe, you know, my skill level wasn't very high at the time. You know, I was a beginner and stuff. Other cats were excelling faster than me. I think I was more meant to be like a visual artist, which is my first passion, is drawing, things like that. But in any case, yeah, man, just if you saw me meditating in the corner, I probably was just trying to focus to get my stuff like down on point. You know what I mean? Because I do it with my spirit and with my heart, and I put a lot of conviction in it, and it means like the whole world to me. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm coming from, and I'm just a very eclectic person. I love a lot of different types of music, and like Bob said, and like Buddha said, a lot of the points they've covered, you know, I just felt like I was always a really open-minded person, always down for learning. And I always approach my dance with a kind of open-mindedness and a kind of ferocity, you know what I'm saying? And someone who is philosophical, although I really very seldomly, very rarely refer to myself as that. People kind of more talk about me in that way. I think it's kind of funny, but I guess you could say that, you know what I'm saying? I talk about you. Yeah, people say that, but I can't. That's a lie and a half. That's bullshit. Yeah, man. So that's me, man.
I want to say I've seen
doing my thing.
I've seen Frost grow. You know, like Frost has been with me probably on 60, 70 projects to the high Arctic, and it's been interesting because I think I'm probably met you somewhere around 2000.
2001. It was at Comfort Zone. I remember Crazy Legs came down. And so Sweepy was there as well. It was first time I saw you in Comfort Zone. Who else was there?
And then I saw you in Kingston when we battled.
Supernaturals was there. Kingston. We battled with Hard Knock Schoolers. It was myself, Crazy Bones. Flight was there. Fresh Effects was there. And then Speed Rock was there.
I always liked Frost because he had a little bit of a punk rock look to him with a leather coat. And it kind of reminded me of him. I'm getting myself wrong, and then I'll talk about. Did I say that right? Of myself when I was a little G, right? So, anyways, it's been nice to see you grow as a person because you have this adventure spirit that I think is a good thread throughout your life, right? And that serves Blueprint well because we never know what we're getting ourselves into in some of these remote communities and stuff. They're all individual adventures and whatnot. But it's a good fit. Like an adventure spirit is a good fit with being a b-boy warrior too. You know?
Well, thank you very much. That was very kind.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's nice. Get some sleep. We got a job tomorrow.
One thing I realized too is like everybody has a story behind how they got involved in this culture. I know we are like kind of pressed on time, but I want to just kind of touch on Lunacee and your kind of, I guess, upbringing in this whole scene. And I also want to talk to Fettah too, because I didn't know you were going to be here, Charlie Fettah. So I was like, oh, damn, he's here. So we could talk about a little bit of the rap scene and what you think was good here locally in Winnipeg and stuff. And I didn't know Kalliane and Lauren were going to be here. So I gotta just briefly, like, your thoughts on like on like the stuff you guys delve into as far as DJing and everything. So if we could start with Lunacee, if you want to just briefly talk about yourself, you know.
Just how I got in this, or
yeah.
I started seeing a lot of indigenous b-boy crews in my city when I was about 12 years old. So there was one point in the late 90s where there was hundreds of b-boys in Edmonton, like so many, where you would you would see everybody rocking sweaters, Magoo crew sweaters. So seeing that was really inspiring, because that seemed like something normal to me that I can cling on to, out of everything else that wasn't normal for me growing up, hearing a lot of racist comments about who I was as an indigenous person, being told like who I was as an indigenous person in a negative light. So seeing people in hip hop, it was super inspiring, but I was really shy and had social anxiety. So I'd never like approach anybody. I would just watch from far away. and just go practice at home, like teach myself a little 6-step or top rock or whatever. It was really whack. It was just like flailing around. And then, it wasn't until I was about 18 I decided to really follow through with it and just go to practice spots where people like Creation, James Jones, Sharpie Shane, Vernon, Jake. There was, a core group of indigenous b-boys. Ridiculous Lee. Yes, Ridiculous Lee. Like there was a core group of these guys, Cliffy, that would go practice at the university. So I'd just go there. I'd stay on my side because I was still super shy. And then like just did what I thought was breaking. And I did that for like 3 years until I went to Red Bull Beat Writers. I was selected out of thousands of people in the world to go train under like Ken Swift and Crazy Legs, Ejo, Mr. Wiggles, a bunch of different cats. Boogaloo Sam was there. And it was just like a boot camp. It wasn't even that long, but it was enough for me to be like, oh shit, I kind of suck. Like, damn, I suck. I actually need to learn all this information. And that's when I started learning foundation. Like learn how to do footwork proper and like top rocks and learning about house dance and seeing voguing for my first time from Archie Burnett. Like that was crazy. So after that, I kept getting knee injuries. Like I tore my meniscus, and that was kind of my journey into learning different styles of dance, like house and hip hop freestyle, party dances, locking, stuff like that. Because up until that point, I was really trying to go hard as a B-girl and learn that style. So anyways, damn, that's a lot.
It's like
going off
that's some sick flow right there. That's sick flow.
We're gonna have like a 6
Crazy story.
You cut
all day long.
Where am I passing this?
Go to
Pass
Fettah.
to Charlie Fettah.
Yo, so just real
I'm
quick.
not that good of a dancer.
Yo, we're not.
I tried to do a backspin and I hurt my knee. I don't know how that happened.
Hip replacement.
Now you're gonna do your own dance video.
I'm actually not that bad.
My man's got natural style.
I'm not that bad. I got a decent style. Started in '79 in the Bronx.
So I wanted to ask you what your thoughts on the Winnipeg rap scene is like right now.
Right now,
because I remember listening to you when I was like, I think in high school or just like
How
around
old are
that-
you?
I'm 26.
All right.
Maybe. Yeah, something like
Fair
that.
enough.
Anyways, I heard you on the radio, like, and there was a lot of push at that time with you and your group that you rap with and all that. And I was like, oh, this is sick. Like local rappers, like, you know, actually on the radio. So what do you think about the scene right now with rapping? Talking about MCing.
I think there's a lot of trash. I think there's a lot of. I'm just being honest. Hey, no.
No.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good, but I just feel like, I came from, I guess, like a year where or like a class that we birthed a lot of rappers. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people started rapping because it was cool, especially in Winnipeg. Like if you're asking me locally,
Yeah.
I guess I got turned on through hip hop through like, you know, older people that I hung around with. But I mean, all in all, like people like 3-Pete are giving me a lot of hope. Like I love 3-Pete. When I go to a 3-Pete show, I get that vibe of like, I'm happy. Like I'm happy that music is existing. And like me and Bennett had our little thing, but I think Bennett is a really, he's a tastemaker too. I just don't like the people that are faking the funk, especially just hanging out with like a lot of b-boys this week. It's like, you know, I think something that I never really like swagger jacking or biting was, you know, it's a serious thing in hip hop period.
Yeah.
But I think just hanging out with these b-boys, you realize how important the style is and how paying homage to the past is really important. So I think there is a lot of hope in Winnipeg hip hop, but I think there's also a lot of people that are just in it for the wrong reason. And that's just me being Charlie Fettah and kind of a jerk in the Winnipeg hip hop scene.
No,
but
that's true.
yeah, it's how I feel. And I mean, you can follow me on social media, and it's not. I don't want to pull punches and be friendly when I don't need to be. But like I said, 3-Pete, Bennett, there's a lot of really, really, really good music in Winnipeg right now. I don't know if they'll ever touch Winnipeg's most, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, 3-Pete's cool. Shout out to 3-Pete. I wanted to, I guess, ask Kalliane, since she's here. I get an opportunity to talk to her first time on CypherTalk podcast. But as far as you've seen with DJing and like how it's such a key thing in, I guess, a dancer's like, you know, journey. Like, how do you see the DJ scene right now as far as what's good for the dancers and good for, I guess, the club too, like just for like vibes and stuff?
Well, I've definitely been dancing longer than I've been DJing, so I guess I can touch on what a DJ means to me as a dancer, just because I still consider myself like a baby DJ. But for me, with the jams that we've had here, as far as like, I don't just do one style. Like, I've never considered myself a B-girl necessarily, just because I haven't committed enough time to really call myself solely a B-girl. I mostly like hip-hop and just like party grooves and just freestyle. So, but for me, with the jams that we've had here, a lot of the time with the all styles jams that we've had, it's almost felt like a bit of like a joke. Like, we've gotten like Phil Collins or like really random like
Spice
Gangnam
Girls
Style or like, but that's the thing, like Phil Collins can be really amazing and like in it could be really great, but when you're also being faced with like Gangnam Style or like random weird songs where you just gotta work it out, it's fun. But when that's all that's being played, it's almost like you can't be focusing and shaping your style into stuff that you're actually feeling. So what me and a few other people have been trying to change is really bringing music that we love to dance to and that we know other dancers vibe with, and bringing those things to a jam or to a battle, and making sure that that stuff is also being represented. Because I feel like a lot of the people now that are coming up, that they think like that's what an all styles battle is supposed to be, you know? Yeah. But that's not necessarily what it should be. Like, it's showcasing either like, if you have one style, how you're supposed to adapt your style to all kinds of different styles of music. Or if you can do a bunch of different styles, like how true can you do all those different styles, all different styles of music. So it's not necessarily just throwing whatever you think. Like, it's not just like throwing like Gangnam Style. Again, I'm gonna say that because it's just the perfect example of a joke song to dance to. Be throwing that and be like, what can you do to this? But then throwing a bunch of songs that are in that same category, when everyone just kind of starts to feel discouraged and not having fun anymore, you know? So I think that's really interesting. And then other music for like parties and stuff, it's just, I guess bringing songs that, you know, people know in a way just to get them into the vibe, but then also exposing them to new music, showing them things that that they haven't heard, or you hope that they haven't heard, just so you have that balance and they can get into it. I'm also into very different kinds of music. So yeah, I guess if that answers your question, yes. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still a baby DJ. I still dance solely, mostly. But yes, she's more of a DJ than I am. So I feel like she should talk. But yes, this is my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so Lauren, what are your thoughts on, I guess you've been a witness to the dance scene here, and also been DJing a fair amount. What are your thoughts on the scene?
Well, I kind of only really got into I was around the scene as of 2012 from hanging around Cal's. We've been friends since we were 10, but we drifted for a while, and then around 2012, that's kind of when we reconnected, and I started coming to jams with her, and I was exposed to I think the first jam was Don't Believe the Hype, and it was Break for Bread. Yeah, and it was just a whole completely different other atmosphere than I've ever been around, and I was like, this exists. Like, had no idea. And I think Andy was actually DJing at the time.
Yeah, Andy's wearing a Break for Bread shirt. You guys can't see this, but
So yeah, I'm pretty new to that scene, but basically what Cal's is just touching on, like going to jams, and like there's certain DJs that'll play like kind of jokey songs, which can be fun. But it also doesn't, to me, I've seen it doesn't give some dancers like their full like opportunity to like give their most, I guess. Yeah. And like being friends with her, just seeing how she would react to songs that she might not fully feel. And like, so yeah, we started like on the One Collective, kind of just to be able to play stuff that we like and what we feel, like she said, introducing new stuff, and like also playing stuff that you think people know. Yeah.
Well, I think the music is definitely like the fuel for the dancers to like feed off of. Mm-hmm. And I have to give you ladies props for the battle, the one that was right after
the Aftermath.
Aftermath, yes, that was called Aftermath.
Yeah.
Because you guys had like really good music, and it just like elevated, like it. I made the finals, so that's only no. But like no, for real, the music was really good, and I think that's part of the reason why I performed as well as I did, and also with the other dancers too. So like when you hear something that's like, oh, I can't do I can't express myself to this type of music as well as I can on different type of music, then it's just like, it's a struggle, right? Because you don't, like, as a dancer, you don't control the music. Like, you can't just be like, oh, this song's whack, I'm not gonna do this round.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the key, that's the biggest thing, I guess, in all styles battles here in Winnipeg is the music.
Definitely.
So keep on bringing the heat,
Thanks.
So I'm just gonna open it up. You guys can. Oh yeah, you played it.
He's the real DJ.
I think you were the one who were playing some like poppin' beats one time. I think at a All Stars. I don't remember, but.
Oh man,
yeah.
It's funny because I think Break for Bread 2012. Yeah. Was that in the gym?
It was at Graffiti Gallery. Oh yeah, it was in the gym and Graffiti.
And Graffiti Gallery. So I think it was myself, Maverick, and Cree?
Charlie?
No, Charlie Hustle. Woo! That was a good year. That was hype. that was a good year. No, I don't want to echo everything that they said, but that is the reason why I DJ now. I just felt every competition I'd went to, like I'd go to local, international, whatever. Every time, well, not every time, but a lot of times when I would go out to do my round, I would not be feeling the music, and then I wouldn't feel comfortable to do my best. And then if that's the reason why, I'm not saying like maybe I wasn't the best, I wasn't good. I'm just saying, like, if I didn't feel good of my performance and I could say like I wasn't feeling the music, then I'm gonna be like, yo man, like how come I'm not liking this music? There's other music I like. So then, not to echo what they said, but like I started playing music that I liked when I started DJing, and it just turned out that other dancers, when they wanted to compete, liked the music that I played, and it got them hyped too, and then people, right? So whatever. But but all styles though, all styles tricky, basically because I only know one dance style. I'm a b-boy, so I know b-boy tunes, but I know songs that people might like. As a DJ, you got to do your research. That's the job of the DJ. You're constantly digging. You're constantly learning. You're in a crowd that you don't know. Learn about the crowd. If you only have 5 minutes to do it, do it. Use that 5 minutes. Do research. Find out what you can use for this crowd to make them jump. You know what I mean? And it's like, if it's a rocker crowd and it's like, or no, let's keep it a dance. If you're in DJing a battle with studio dancers, you know what I mean? You scope out the scene, you're measuring, and be like, well, maybe they like this type of music. You play that music, and then see how they vibe. Like, you're constantly testing, and then if you hit something nice, you go with it. and then you take note of that. You know, you put that in your crate, and then when the next time you need to pick that out, you pull that out. And then that's what makes DJs really important, because they set the tone. They're the maestros of every party, every battle, whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's important. It's just important. It's important. Yeah. Got my Stevie Wonder on, you know. But DJs have the job to constantly like dig and then kind of make the way for dancers to like kind of go through, because you can play the next hot tune and that's the new fire until that fire goes out, and you got to light the fire again with something new. So
yeah. What do I always ask you?
Oh man.
What was that joint today? The Commodores? He was trying to have him play the Commodores.
Still? He was trying to sing that? No, but Marvin Gaye is all the time Marvin. If you see Buddha in a party, any DJ out there, any DJ that listens to this right now, if you see Buddha in the crowd and he looks unhappy, play some Marvin Gaye. And the party is gonna turn up, all right? It's gonna get lit. All that New Jack slang, everything is gonna. I'm passing.
Mandy, I know you had some questions in mind for some people, so I'm gonna let you. I'll just let you.
Okay.
Ask them.
I only know of like 3 people that were supposed to be here, but then all of you guys are here, so it's like overwhelming me right now. I'm like, oh my god, what do I ask? Because it's very important what I ask. I should be careful. I'll just start off with the ones with Lunacee, just because I knew she was gonna be here. Specifically, what I want to ask you, what I've always admired about you, specifically just because as a young dancer in Winnipeg that is really involved in the freestyle scene, it's kind of hard to find, I guess, idols or people to really look up to as a female, just because there's the time that there was a lot, it has passed once I started into the scene, so I really had to reach out to other parts of the province to really get that inspiration back. So seeing you and how much of female empowerment is important to you, and how women as dancers should be, what advice would you give for certain young dancers that are in a male dominant field, and to not necessarily, I guess, lose sight of like what you're trying to go after, and not really lose sight of your focus compared to, I guess, other scenes where it's both male and female, I guess. I don't know how to answer that question, but yeah.
Oh, damn, that's a really loaded question. I think you might have to break it down a little bit. Sorry. What was...
Plain advice, then.
Plain advice?
Advice for a young lady.
Right.
In the male dominant scene.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And your history.
Oh my gosh.
And your upbringing, like your.
I don't know, because like in Edmonton, I was the only female dancer coming up in my time for breaking, and so I didn't actually see any other women in my city. So it was just normal for me to be around the men and to try to push through, because, it was, I guess it was really hard, but to me that was normal. It was normal for it to be that hard and just to make myself go there. And I really wanted it that bad. I wanted to learn how to dance so much that I just had to put that aside and go for it. And I had forced myself to enter battles, even if I was like scared or terrified or whatever it was, because I was used to just seeing guys, until I would start seeing some ladies in Calgary. There would be a handful there, and then that would be super inspiring, like seeing B-Girl Quest for the first time from Saskatchewan. I was like super hype about that. And what I did was start forming my own crew. I tried so hard in Edmonton to scout other girls and to form just an encouraging environment for other women to dance. But unfortunately, not a lot of women would grab onto that. And it was always me I would see talent in girls and I'd be like, oh my God, you'd be the best dancer. Like, please, you got to come dance with me, just to try and form my own paths, because I was surrounded by men all the time. So, oh man, I'm not even sure. Like, all I could do is just share my background. I'm not sure about advice, because it was something that was so dominant and that I just had to push through. Nowadays, like, there's so many inspiring women that I look up to in the world it's just, there's ladies everywhere now killing it. So I don't see it to be that huge of a problem nowadays, especially with the internet and all these huge battles around the world now with women slaying. You know what I mean? Like, there's women that I look up to now where it's not hard to really find. But I did experience, the difficulty of being the only woman for a while, just in my own scene, and just having to push through. So, damn, I'm not. Jeez, I'm not even sure how to answer. Like,
one thing I know is that with Lunacee, she's like our sister, and our skill level, like, there's no who's better than who, you know what I mean? So guys and girls, it's just come down to, like, if you have your skills, I have mad respect for you, and I know we get there, you get me hype. I get you hype when we get down. That's how it should be. You know what I mean? Just straight up.
No, definitely. And I don't discriminate, or I don't feel the like I'm left out or anything, and that I have to push through anymore. I do feel like an equal. Like, there was a time when I had to make my own path. But yeah, like I said, there's so many women killing it on the same level, if not even greater than a lot of dudes in the world. So it's like super inspiring, where I feel like now I'm a beginner in so many aspects. I'm like, I'm just getting into like freestyle hip hop now, where I feel like a baby beginner at that, where it's finally making sense to me. And so I have women to look up to. So I don't know.
Can I say some nice things about Lunacee? I want to say something. You know what? I've known you quite a while now. And the thing that always stands out for me when I watch you dance, I mean, you're an ill dancer, but I love to look at your face because you love dancing.
Yeah.
Like when but when I see you dance, not everybody just, when you look in their eyes, go, oh man, that person loves to dance. They may be ill, but I don't look at everybody and go, that person loves dancing. And you inspire me and so many people when they watch you, because you can't fake that funk. You love dancing, and you just, your whole body and your expression just brings that joy to others. It's a real powerful thing you have that not all female dancers, there's a lot of ill female dancers in Canada, but you stand out at the top of that notch with that piece of it, for sure, man.
Aw, thanks,
You know what kills me though? You know what kills me? Like, I'm not. I don't want to rustle any feathers. Kind of don't really care. But no. But real talks. Like I've had conversations with Lunacee, and then I always be like, yeah, B girl Lunacee, and then she'd just be like, well, I'm not really a B girl, So
that's a line now.
Okay, no. But stop. Hey, put down the mic. Put down the microphone. No, the thing is though, it's like I get it, because if she doesn't really want to claim herself as a B girl, that's cool. However, she can break better than most B girls, B boys. Like.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
No, but like, and I hear you, and I'm not trying to say like you're wrong and you should say you're a B girl Lunacee. No, but you're, man, stop.
No, it's it's not to ever down myself. Like I don't say that to ever down myself. Like, I don't believe in what I do, but I highly respect the people who put in work to practice their asses off, and especially the women that are B girls, like fucking ferociously pushing through for themselves to be at a high level and compete amongst B-boys. So out of that respect, that's why I stepped down in saying my title as a B-girl, because I hold that to a very high standard, and I hold it in a respectable sense, like sacredness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
And so out of respect, I'm totally, I don't mind stepping down and not saying I'm a B-girl, you know what I mean? I respect that shit so much because I was there, and like, that's hard. That's a hard dance, you know? So, but I'm in hip hop, like I am hip hop, and that's what I do. I'm a dancer, like I dance every day. You'll never see me stop dancing, you know what I mean? But B-girlism, like that's how much I respect it. So that's why I don't like wanna front in that way. Yeah.
Like oftentimes I think that term B-boy, B-girl has a lot to do with your mentality. You know, it's your approach, your attack, like how you think about the world, how you think about yourself. So you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of females that I know who they don't break on the ground, but to me they're B-girls because of their mentality and their approach. And same thing with a lot of brothers out there I meet. You know, they're musicians or MCs or even carpenters, man, or doctors. There's people out there, they do different things, but they have that B-boy approach. They have their full step saga, you know what I'm saying? They do their thing their way, you know? So, but let's not, you know, I mean, there's a language, there's a tradition, you know what I mean? And when you understand that language and you understand that tradition and you study it, you recognize that you're a student of the culture, you know, you're a child of this culture, and you start to grow yourself and cultivate yourself through this culture. At that point, you know what I'm saying? That's when you're a b-boy. Hip hop, you are both. You are
see,
it
this
as
that
one.
philosophy coming out right now. That frost.
Yeah.
Vernacular.
So
put that out there so you use it.
So just before I forget, I want to thank you guys for sitting down and just being open to this podcast. We started this like in March of this year, and we had like we released the first episode with Bob, who granted us that that privilege of hearing him. But I want to thank you guys because all of you guys are deserving of just like one podcast episode each. And I know we can't go into everything tonight, but
Avengers movie.
Avengers movie process. So is there anything you guys want to promote or say or shout out or anything before I forget or anything like that? Anybody?
Just hold on. Just first off, I just want to say like thank you to Angelo and all the people that work that do the CypherTalk. You know, like I've been away for about 4 or 5 months, and I still follow it because Winnipeg is dear to my heart, and I always want to see and know what's going on. So I think you're doing an amazing thing. Now you heard it from me, so now it's official, son.
The king. Well, Winnipeg, one of the kings of Winnipeg have spoken.
But you know, you actually inspired us in Toronto. We might actually try and do some type of podcast too as well.
Sweet.
And we want to. I think it's very important to really document and really get to know like some of the dancers in the Canadian scene, and I think this is a great way to do it. So like, congratulations to you, man. You got something going on.
Thanks.
I just want to big up. I don't know why I didn't say this earlier when you asked me about the Winnipeg hip hop scene. Studio 393, graffiti art programming. I should have mentioned this before. There's a whole bunch of new up and coming young boys and girls and just awesome humans that are coming to the program and expressing themselves in a positive way. So if you're in Winnipeg and you're listening and you're into hip hop, if you're into art, if you just want to come hang out at a cool, safe place and experience something new, Studio 393 in the Skywalk between the Bay and Porter's Place and 109 Higgins Avenue. Come check out the artwork, come check out the rap studio, and get involved in some hip hop.
I got the next shout out. You know what? Shout out always to my original crew members, their fathers doing their best with their kids, doing it up, Brothers for Life, Canadian Floor Masters. And shout out to another 40 Blueprint for Life staff across Canada, man.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're just like all these other heads that are sitting around this table, whether they're from Montreal or Vancouver or Calgary or Edmonton. We're building some of the illest family, not only at a dance tip, but on a big heart tip. And to me, we are modeling what that larger hip-hop family really could be for the future. you know.
Do the listeners know what Blueprint is?
I don't know. Maybe we didn't quickly say Blueprint for Life. Look, we started doing mental health outreach through hip hop week intensives in the high Arctic. We became the school for a week. There's no other school but us. Teachers and social workers and elders do our program as equals, which makes new relationships grow. I'm a social worker by trade, so I really am. For me, my heart is about healing. You know, honestly, at this point in my life, I don't really care if I create dancers. I want to create strong young men and women that heal so they can have happy lives. Because there's lots of trauma in the world. And guess what? Hippity hop worked for us. So we're sharing the gift, right? We're paying it forward. So that's kind of what it is.
Word up. Respect. Y'all wanna promote peace out there to everyone listening. You know, just if you're into what you do and you love what you do, if you're a practitioner of this culture, you're a dancer, musician, whatever you are, just like struggle up ahead, and it's gonna be struggle always. But enjoy yourself and have fun, and just have there's peace, love, unity, having fun. Yeah.
That came out the fortune cookie, man.
Just a big shout out to 20th Century B-Boys over in Korea. Big shout out to Storytime in Japan. Big shout out to the Ground Illusions crew, One Unit Tribe, all the Toronto community. Big shout out to Conscious Souls out there. Big shout out to everyone around the world. Peace and love to you.
And if you're here in November, come to the Tribe Called Red show. You'll have to look that up, actually, because I don't know the date. My bad. Tribe Called Red. I dance for them. Boom.
You guys got anything coming up, Kalliane, Lauren?
Charity.
Nothing at the moment that you guys want to talk about? So thanks to Nereo and Niki.
Let me get a quick shout out.
Oh shoot. Okay, go. Break for red shirt. Okay.
Oh yeah, exactly. Shout out to all the DJs in Winnipeg. You know what I mean? I've been out to Winnipeg quite a few times. I've been blessed with the opportunity to DJ for the scene out here. So thanks for that. You know what I mean? Shout out to my crew, Maximum Efficiency crew, Jamestown Boxing. You know what I mean? Unity Charity. That's my family. Dream Frost shouted out like the other half of the crews that we share. Our handshake is like 20 minutes long.
Want to hear it?
Nah, man, you're going to have to like... You'll see that later one day. Either way, shout out to Winnipeg scene. All right, peace.
All right, so that's it. CypherTalk. Thank you guys again. Thanks, Nereo and Niki, for letting us do this in your place. Peace to everybody, and we're out.
Peace.